Okay, in this clip, I am only going to talk about life on the spectrum. Because autism is a spectrum with 3 levels. And of course you have your hiddenness, which I refer to as Aspergers, because it's a label to differentiate between the signs of autism and Aspergers. If you take offence, I haven't got one, build one yourself and steal it. Wait a second, that wouldn't be stealing. Oh well, take offence that's already built and steal that one. Now, I try to do clips that are relevant. Clips that help people. What I find, frequently, is that I'm trying to help myself at the same time. So, I myself am experimenting. And it's been a life of experimenting. Because most people on the spectrum learn by trial and error. At least, that's the way it is for me. You try something, it doesn't work. You modify that, you see if that works. If that works, or the modification works, you use it. If you need to modify it further, you can modify it further. The point here is you are in control of Asperger's rather than Asperger's being in control of you. And the struggles are many and varied. Asperger's is a growing and increasing in number the people who live with simply Asperger's and not necessarily autism. But this just means that you change you and hope that others around you will respect you for changing, or at least attempting to change. Now, every change is not going to be at instant perfection. The fall has already seen to that. That's Genesis chapter 3, with the battle between Adam, Eve, and the serpent. I say it's a battle because that's what it is. Adam first blamed God, and then Eve, in the presence of Eve. As most men will know, if you put your wife down or your partner down in their presence, you'll find yourself in the doghouse pretty quickly, so to speak. The doghouse being slang for out of their lives, or you must seek forgiveness. Now, Eve doesn't blame the husband, but she blames the serpent, or at least the creature that is Satan, the evil one. Satan has no one to blame because he's been trying to deceive the whole time. That's the fall. That's how the world ended up being the way it is. If you disagree with that, great. Provide me with the evidence. Okay, now we come to people who change their minds. And if you are Aspergian, you will know how much you do change your minds. You switch interests. They may be in a similar field, but until you get an accurate diagnosis, you don't know which direction to go. So you must find the direction to go, the path, the journey. In terms of a journey, I find my way on the path to Christianity, because that has been what has helped me the most to be perhaps a little less socially awkward, but it doesn't go away. And I must stress that. It doesn't fade, you don't outgrow it, you live through it. Now, when you're growing, you go also through growing pains. Asperger's is no different. There are growing pains, maturing pains. You make mistakes. That's the way it is. You must endeavour not to make the same mistake twice. Or note how you're making the mistake so that you don't have to make the mistake again. So, socializing is a natural weakness that you have. You may be specifically disinterested when people start talking about basses as guitars. Or you may be given an instrument and somebody gives it to you and you put your hands around it, do it, try to give it back to them, they smack it out of your hand. The next thing they do is accuse you of damaging the thing, when they should have opened their eyes and looked at it. Seen it was in your hand, just reached up and grabbed it. That's an example that happened this morning for me in church, ironically. Now, I believe because I do want God to be, and I do not want to be separated from God. Because that's the only other option I have. Eternal life with God or separation from God. And there is no reconciliation once you choose to fall away. Unless you come back. As is the case for some. And kudos to them for trying again. That means you're scoring points. But Christianity is not a point-scoring system. It is a grace system. It is not based on works that anyone should boast, to quote the scriptures. Especially given that all have fallen short of the mark of perfection, which is godliness. And before this video gets too long and takes hours to upgrade, I will say, in the words of the cult, Edie, ciao baby.